Hello there, old and new friends. It's your friendly neighborhood sunshine squirrel. Welcome back to the channel where we are living life in the sun. We have so much to unload in this video, so let's just get right into it. So last month, Disney released huge breaking news that they were re-releasing or opening Disney Vacation Club memberships at the Grand Floridian villas. Now, if you don't know what Disney Vacation Club is, or you're not as familiar with all of the nitty-gritty, I'm going to go through just a brief kind of clip notes, spark notes version of what Disney Vacation Club is. So Disney Vacation Club is Disney's version of a timeshare. And with this timeshare program, members buy certain points at a particular resort. The resort where a member buys points into is known as their home resort. For your home resort, you're able to book accommodations at that particular hotel resort 11 months in advance. For any other resort that you choose to use your points, you can book 7 months in advance. So 11 months if it's your home, 7 months if it's not your home. Now, some of you are saying, well, what are the points? What is that all about? Well, Disney has come up with a system of points that equate to dollars. So let's say one Disney Vacation Club point equals $30. So you purchase a certain amount of points at a given resort, and the amount of points that you purchase bases upon how you want to stay at Disney, for how long, what type of room, and even what time of the year. But don't worry, I'm going to get all into those details a little bit later when we go through the points chart for the Grand Floridian, so sit tight with me there. But what you need to understand is that Disney Vacation Club basically has two formats of how they construct resorts in order to accommodate DVC members. So there are some resorts that were built from the get-go as designed to be Disney Vacation Club member resorts. So think about things like Beach Club, Yacht Club, Old Key West. These resorts were kind of the original Disney Vacation Club resorts. They were built with DVC member rooms, and they were also built with standard hotel rooms. Now, a DVC hotel room and a standard hotel room are completely different. Disney DVC rooms tend to be more spacious. Some of them tend to have 1.5 baths, so they'll have 2 showers and multiple sinks. They all will have either a kitchenette, which has a microwave, a fridge, a Keurig, an additional sink, actual silverware, disposable silverware that comes in the room, or they may have a full kitchen that includes, I'm talking like normal size refrigerator, dishwasher, oven, stovetop, full washing machine and dryer, multiple bedrooms. It just kind of depends on the type. Disney Vacation Club rooms kind of start off as deluxe studio villas and then go all the way up to grand villas that can have 3 bedrooms, or think about the bungalows at Disney's Polynesian Resort or the cabins at Copper Creek at Wilderness Lodge. So DVC rooms tend to have a little bit more to them than a standard hotel room. If you're not a DVC member, you can still stay in a DVC room, but you're just going to be paying for that room out of pocket versus using points. Or you can always go through a third-party DVC rental unit and rent points to use. There are other resorts, though, that were constructed as just a resort, and Disney Vacation Club built on units or built on buildings to that resort to add an element of DVC, or they may have taken over some of the original hotel section and turned it into Disney Vacation Club. So, for example, Disney's Polynesian Villas and Bungalows was actually initially just a straight Disney Resort deluxe hotel. Disney Vacation Club then converted multiple of the buildings into DVC rooms. At Disney's Grand Floridian, they actually constructed a brand new Disney Vacation Club member building 8 years ago, and this building held and still holds all of the DVC rooms. Now, Hey guys, this is Sunshine Squirrel from the future. I just wanted to let you guys know as a sidebar that because, like I just mentioned in the video, Disney's Grand Floridian DVC accommodations began 8 years ago. If you are purchasing a new DVC membership at Grand Floridian this year, your contract is for 42 years and not the typical 50 that you get at a brand new DVC resort, because it is not a brand new DVC resort. It's an old DVC resort that is reopening. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Now, if Disney wants to, add on, like I said, they either have to take over a building and then convert those rooms into DVC rooms, or they construct a whole brand new building. Disney's Riviera Resort was actually the first of its kind, and that it's a DVC resort that was made exclusively for DVC. So there are no standard hotel rooms at Riviera. You can, once again, absolutely stay there even if you are not a DVC member. However, you do pay for points. You pay with dollars and not points. So what typically happens when Disney Vacation Club decides to open up a new membership location at a new home resort, they offer a certain amount of DVC memberships, and the amount of memberships that are offered are based upon the amount of accommodations they have for DVC members. When Disney's Grand Floridian initially opened that big, beautiful DVC exclusive member building, all of the memberships were sold within 1 year. So the only opportunity that you had thereafter to purchase a DVC membership at Grand Floridian was through buying resale. Now, some individuals do like resale because you can typically get the points and get the membership package for a little cheaper. But something that you do have to remember is that Disney does not recognize resale as officially Disney. So you are not considered a Disney Vacation Club member with all of the perks included if you had bought it from Disney. So for example, you cannot use the points that you would purchase from resale to go on a DVC member only cruise, and you also can't participate at any of the after hours events that are for DVC members. You can't use a DVC member discount or anything like that. So there is a penalty if you aren't buying it from Disney. So keep that in mind. Now, that being said, Disney's Grand Floridian has now taken over one of those traditional hotel buildings, and they are converting rooms into resort studio villas. So these are different than the deluxe studio villas that we're accustomed to at Disney's Grand Floridian, because once again, it's taking that standard hotel room and converting it into a DVC room. So some of the differences you're going to see is that the newer rooms have 2 queen beds, whereas the deluxe studios have a bed and then a pull down Murphy queen bed with a couch. Both of them also have that little hidden Murphy kind of bunk bed that's underneath of the TV. The deluxe studios have that kitchenette, so that's the fridge, that microwave, additional counter space, sink, disposable cups, plates, a couple silverware items. The resort studio rooms, which are the newer rooms, have a beverage station, so they're not going to have that full kitchenette. The bathroom within the resort studios is a dual shower and tub, and it includes 2 sinks. Whereas in the deluxe studio, you have what I call a bath and a half. So you have a walk-in shower and then a sink and then a divider door, and on the other side of that door you have a shower tub and your commode. So it's a little bit more to the bathroom area. Multiple people can be getting ready at once, and the overall room size is different. Now, as well, if you are staying in the deluxe studio villa rooms, you are in the traditional DVC member only exclusive building. If you are staying in the newer accommodations, you are staying in the hotel building that has rooms that have been converted into DVC. So it kind of reminds me of if any of you have ever stayed at Copper Creek at Wilderness Lodge. So similar to how at Wilderness Lodge, they took that hallway down there and they converted those rooms to Copper Creek, but it's still a part of the main lobby. Same sort of thing here. We have the traditional hotel rooms that are now being transformed into DVC rooms. And because Disney is now adding on DVC rooms, there are a whole new set of memberships that have now opened up. So now you can purchase a DVC membership at Disney's Grand Floridian from Disney with all of the perks and all of the rights thereof. Now, in order to purchase your membership from Disney's Grand Floridian, you first have to be an already current DVC member for the month of March. Through the entire month of March, sales are exclusive only to current DVC members. So if you are a DVC member, this is your time to purchase. There's also discounts going on depending upon how many points you purchase. So the more points you purchase, the more discount you have. So let's go through a couple of examples just so you guys can begin to get an idea of what we're talking about as far as price. So in order to begin with, everyone has to purchase at least 125 points in order to be a member at Disney's Grand Floridian. 125 points is going to typically cost around $26,000. With the discount, you're looking at about $25,000. However, once again, the more points you purchase, the more discount you're going to see. So for example, if you purchase 300 points, that will bring your total to around $62,000. But with the discount that's currently being offered, your total is then going to end up being around $53,000. So this is a pretty big significant discounts that Disney's offering. Definitely reach out to your Disney Vacation Club agent and they can kind of go through with you all the different prices. The points are customizable, so Disney does have charts that they've already created as far as suggested points, but feel free to go in between, pick a plan that works best for you, customize for what you need and what your family needs. As far as purchasing goes, you can absolutely pay for the entire membership outright, or you can choose to finance for 5 or 10 years. The purchase is actually extremely seamless for current DVC members. As long as you've already paid off your current membership or you're in good standing with your current membership, there's no credit check, there's no background check, none of that things that you had to go through when you first purchased. It's just as simple as talking to your agent and then processing the payment. Now, for those of you that are currently not DVC members, never fret, don't fear. The opportunity for you to purchase will begin once the month of March is over. Now, the new accommodations at Disney's Grand Floridian will be opened in June. That's when construction is finished. You can begin to book reservations at the new building in May. If you are a current DVC member, your points that you purchase for Disney's Grand Floridian will become active when your current membership's points become active. So let's say that you have a membership at Disney's Copper Creek and your points go live every year in September. That is when your Grand Floridian points will also go live. So everything will be together. However, depending upon when you purchased your points, let's say that when you purchased your membership at Copper Creek that the points were so much, you never have to worry about your current point chart changing from one year to the next. So even though this 2022 Grand Floridian point chart may look very different than your current home resorts or what you've utilized in the past, your original DVC points for your initial home resort will remain the same. They will not be affected by your new points chart for your new resort home. Everything will stay the same, so you don't have to be concerned about that. So I'm going to take a minute, guys, and we're going to go through the new point chart. So as you can see, and this is a common question that I think a lot of people have is, well, how many points should I actually purchase? And this is something that you really need to think about. When it comes to points, you need to think about what time of year you want to go. So are you wanting to go in the off season? Do you want to go during the holidays? Do you want to go during the festivals? If you choose to go during a popular season, as you can see from this chart, the points are more. So for example, if you go, let's say during Thanksgiving week, as you can see, the points are, pretty up there. Whereas if you went, let's say in, In May, a random week in May, the points are significantly lower. Another thing you have to consider is the day of the week. So Fridays and Saturdays tend to be more expensive than Sundays through Thursdays. Now, if a holiday also falls on the weekend, it's even more expensive because you have the fact that it's a high popular time and a weekend. You also need to think about the particular type of room that you want to stay at the Grand Floridian. Do you want to stay in the new resort studio? Do you want to stay in the old building? And that's a good point that I'll make, guys. When you purchase this new DVC membership, you can stay in either of the two buildings. You're not forced to stay in the old or forced to stay in the new. It's up to you. The other thing you need to think about is the view. So as you can see with the new rooms, you have this new column of a theme park view, whereas in the old DVC building, the options are either standard or lake view. So these are all things that you need to take in consideration, And you also need to think about how often do you want to go to Disney per year? Does your family just like to do one trip once a year, one trip every 2 years? With the new DVC policies, you are allowed to roll over points for 2 years, but you are only allowed to borrow up to 50% of your points from, the following year. So I know in the past there were some people that would really lean into that borrowing thing, and if they would plan out a big trip and then borrow from the year future, but that's something else you need to consider. So no more borrowing more than 50%, and your points only roll over for 2 years. So keep that in mind, guys, as you're thinking about what points. Obviously, I always recommend have a conversation with your DVC agent about what they recommend, what works for you, what works for your family. Now, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So Disney first opened the purchase of these new memberships on Thursday, March the 3rd. Within that first day, over 500 memberships were purchased. So I say that not to scare you or to frighten you, but just to let you guys know, if this is something that you're really thinking would be a good fit for you, for your family, definitely take some time to think it over. Get out your charts, see if it measures up with your finances and with your goals for your family and your budget. And then if it seems like it's something that's a good idea for you and your family, you may not want to wait. You may not want to sleep on this because we don't know how many memberships Disney is offering, and we don't know when that window is going to close. All we know is that Disney's Grand Floridian is an extremely popular resort, and buying a DVC membership for a lot of individuals is a way that they would be able to stay at this resort where otherwise they wouldn't. So definitely take some time to think this over and make the decision that's best for you and for your family. Well, make sure to let me know in the comments below, guys, if you have purchased a DVC membership at Disney's Grand Floridian, if you are as excited as I am. And let me know too, are you going to plan on staying in this new building when you go down for your next Disney trip? Do you want to stay in the old building? What are you going to do? I would love to hear your thoughts. Definitely make sure to leave a thumbs up if this video was helpful and informative, guys. Please make sure to subscribe. It really, really does help the channel. Share it with a friend and a fellow DVC member, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!